What is up, everyone? Today I'm going to show you some really fun drum fills. And I like these because it's simple, but the orchestrations you can do around the kit make them sound much more complicated than they actually are. Now, I loved playing right, left. And early on, I would say 15 years ago in my drumming days, I was obsessed with this pattern. And I got really comfortable doing that, experimenting around the drums with different orchestrations. But then one day I'm like, well, if I can do right, left, I should be able to do right, left, or left, right. Drumming is mostly a combination of singles and doubles, right? And so all we're doing is changing where we place the singles and doubles within the specific notes. And so then I started thinking, well, I love the fill right, left played as 16th notes. But one thing I wanted to try was, what if I just led that with my left hand so there's more double note hits on the toms or around the drums? Because when the right hand is moving and the left hand is playing nice quiet ghost notes on the snare, that's the way a lot of us drummers do it. You'll see drummers kind of flying around the drums and their lead hand is kind of playing a lot of the melodies, their left hand is filling things in. And I wanted to get my left hand more involved. I want my left hand to just take more of the lead, and I wanted to build this skill. And then as I started practicing this stuff, just as a way of like figuring out more left hand lead, I stumbled on some of these fills using these odd groupings of 3s, 5s, and 7s. So all we're going to be doing is looking at the fill played left, right as 16th notes. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Now when you play this right hand lead, the way the sticking works is you naturally end with a right, and then I always try and crash with the left if that's the case. In this way, leading with your left, it naturally resolves with a left on the snare, and then I'm free to crash with the right. And for me, this just really opened things up, and it felt a lot different, and I loved the sound of having the 2 notes on the toms, but still having the freedom to move my left hand and still get consistent 3 or 6 note groupings around the drums. So I'm going to play it for you, nice and slow at 60 beats per minute. So once you kind of learn how that feels by leading with your left, number 1, as well as playing groups of 3 over 16th notes, number 2 challenge, once you kind of get a feel for that, it's going to start being really easy to move it around the kit. And that's kind of the next step with this, is just to start experimenting with different combinations. One thing I'll say is, for me, when I'm playing the left hand on the snare, I'll do the odd accented note, but I'll just ghost a lot of it. Or I'll start moving that left hand around the drums. I can hit the side snare, I can hit the main snare, and I can just start experimenting with different options. And so I'll do it again for you at 120 beats per minute, and I'll play it a bunch of times and just slowly move it around and try different things. Here we go. And at that tempo, it sounds great, but because this is a simple mixed sticking, 3-note repeated pattern, you can even push it faster, and it's usually not that hard, but it does take time. So I'll try it again at 180 beats per minute. it definitely felt more tense, that's for sure. I haven't played it much at that tempo, but it sounds really, really cool. So I'd encourage you to check it out. Try this stuff because you never know. You might absolutely love it. It might work perfectly for a piece of music that you're playing. The next thing I'd like to talk about is playing the grouping of 5, which is normally right, left, left. We're going to be playing it left, right, right, as 16th notes. Now 3 rotations of that brings us to 15, so we're going to have 1 stray note on the end. And that note, just like in the groups of 3, it's going to land on our left hand and it's going to provide a really, really natural resolution to the fill. So nice and slow, let's count it out, just hitting the rim. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and ah. I would really encourage you to learn how that feels played with 16th notes before you just start orchestrating it around the kit, if you can. Or if you're struggling with it, orchestrating around the kit, it means that you haven't really learned how it feels over a quarter note pulse, playing groups of 5, or you haven't really internalized the sticking enough to actually be able to play it and move it around the drums. And so that's what it normally tells me. So what I would just recommend, get on a practice pad, get on a snare drum, put on a metronome, and really, really hash that out. Now once you have that going, you start doing a basic orchestration. So I'm going to play this exercise for you now at 60 beats per minute. And just like the 3s, once that's feeling comfortable in that basic orchestration, slowly start moving it around and trying to come up with your own combinations. So I'll do that for you at 120 beats per minute. So once you feel comfortable at those 2 tempos, just like we did on the 3s, let's push it a little bit more. I'm not going to do 180 again because I think that was a little bit crazy, but I'll push it now to 160 and I'll have some fun with it. The next grouping we're going to talk about is a grouping of 7, and we're going to play this left, right, left, right, left, right, right. Now, if you do 2 rotations of that, you have 14, and then there's 2 extra notes. But because we end with a right, right, when it comes to the groupings, we're just going to add in a left, left to resolve the fill. So counting it out would sound like this. Left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left. I'll play it for you nice and slow, down the drums with a simple orchestration at 60 beats per minute. And the next step is to move it to 120 beats per minute. Now this is the one that I'm the least comfortable with. So I would say I'm at 120 beats per minute for this one. So I'm going to play 4 bars for you to show you where I'm at. And then I hope that you take it to your kit and absolutely blow the doors off what I'm doing here, because I know that's the case in so many of my lessons that I've done. Students will tag me in a post a month later and they're just like at the moon with it. I'm like, please teach me now. And that's like one thing I love about this is like, I'm just hopefully planting some seeds, then you take them, you start watering them, you make them into something super incredible. And so I think that's awesome. So let's do this at 120 beats per minute. So there are 3 fill ideas that I hope you'll take to your kit and have some fun with them. For me, I just like to try and find one that really resonates, and then I'll spend a ton of time just experimenting with that, the different combinations, playing different orchestrations. There's so much you can do with this stuff. And so thank you all so much for watching. I'm so grateful that I get to do this. Please leave a comment down below if you haven't yet, and I'd love to chat with you a little bit more about what you want to learn and where you're going with your drumming. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.